Welcome to today's show, the FamilyWorth show. It is always a pleasure to be here. I don't take these sessions for granted at all because I don't consider myself as the most qualified to be leading this conversation. There are a lot of more qualified people, but I'm just adding a bit of a voice. If that is of any value, I think those that value it would join me, and then we can just keep the conversations going. Oh, thank you so much. I can see that some people are already joining me. I really appreciate your presence here. I don't in any way undervalue you being on the platform. So without wasting much time, please let me know you're there. It's always very encouraging to know that someone is there because this was never meant to be a monologue. It's meant to be a conversation. Many things we share on this platform is not coming from theory. It's not coming from what I've eavesdropped or gossip. It's also coming from my own personal journey. And by the time you share, by the time you lead conversations like this, by the time you realize that, this brother, this sister is also having the same experience, maybe not exactly the same, but there's always a way we can share with each other. So thank you so much for joining me today. Today's topic, unless when I have a guest, I want to try and be keeping this short and sharp because it's not meant to preach at anyone. It's just meant to leave some thoughts, leave some things that we, even myself, can go back and reflect on. And hopefully that will lead us to deeper exploration. So if for any reason there are some thoughts we left hanging because of time and you want to explore it further, just find a way to reach out to me. I would definitely want to have conversations with you. That's fine, as long as it's in the right direction, it is solution oriented, it is not talking about others, but it's talking about ourselves. I'm absolutely fine with that. And this is the other reason we made it clear every now and then that family worth is the foundation, or if in any doubt, the reference point is a Christian worldview as specified in the Bible, if in any doubt. But when we come on this platform, we also recognize that this is a public space. This is a space where we don't want to be exclusive. We want to be inclusive as much as possible. Open the door for everyone to join in the conversation. But if anyone wants to find out further, maybe we open some spiritual principles or some thoughts that need further exploration, and you want to explore it further with me, yes, by all means, reach out to me. And if I can't, I can also direct you to other spiritual leaders. So just a bit of background there. But today we're continuing on a topic which was never going to be adequate for one episode. Because whenever you talk about self-discovery, things like these, you are going to the deeper level. You are not at the superficial. And some things like that takes time to unpack. It takes time to share. It takes time to rub minds. So please bear with me. If some of these topics go over a while, maybe more than one episode, and for some of them, I will be bringing in guests to help me out because, like I said, I don't feel that I'm the most qualified. I'm just leading, I'm setting the platform, I'm leading the conversations, but there are many people that can contribute very well as well. So I just want to stay on this picture for a little while. You can see that I use an old tree stump with a green tree on top, a small tree. That is intentional. because some of the things we're going to be unpacking with these topics, it goes to show that there is hope. There is hope. Even for a dead tree like this, I can imagine what this tree would have looked like. This tree would have been in that place for a while. It would have looked very dead, especially the stump as it shows. Just looking at the picture, it's not that beautiful. But you can see that out of what looks dead, some beautiful trees, some beautiful stories can come out. And this is intentional. So I didn't go to do so much research to bring one beautiful leaf, one beautiful flower. It's okay to have that. And in life, sometimes we want to also have beautiful stuff. But many times, many times, beautiful things come out of what look dead, like this stump in this picture. It looked dead, but over time, and there's a place like that actually, that in the Bible, that it said, even though a tree is dead for a while, it just takes a little water. Actually, it says a scent of the water, just a scent, perceiving the water can make the tree or the dead stump to come alive again. So this was intentional for this flyer to let us know that in FamilyWorth, we're really all about hope. We're all about it's never too late, especially with family. Families, the stakes are high, so we cannot afford to give up on families. So no matter how the tree may look dead sometimes, there is hope. So this picture was intentional in choosing that. But today's topic, like I said, is all about self-discovery. And that topic on its own, it's already talking about the depth. So when we say self-discovery, really, just to bring out a topic here. So new beginnings, new year, it's time for us to start looking at, okay, what is ahead in the year? I know the New Year Eve, there was a lot of parties, a lot of shows, which is okay, absolutely okay. We must celebrate that we are here this side of the year. Unfortunately, many did not get over the year. So we have every reason for fireworks. I'm all for it. But you and I know that after the fireworks, after the New Year Eve, after the 1 minute to midnight, you know that period where we all in those days, some of us we just time it, we run into a worship house, just about 5 minutes to midnight, be all the spiritual that we can in the next 5 minutes so that we can get into the new year well in a spiritual state, and after the new year fireworks, we hear it, and a little bit of more prayers, another 5 minutes in the church or wherever the worship house may be, we're gone. So really, New Year, it's not just about that crossing over. It's now, when we come to the 10th of the year, like today's 15th of January, the 15th day of the year, you start wondering, is there still that excitement? Are we beginning to get worried about the new year that promise to be at least different from 2020? We know what 2020 was like. Um, and I would not be surprised that some people may start wondering, is 2021 just going to be like 2020 for me? So it's not just the entry into the new year, it's how we sustain the wins, how we sustain our goals, achieving our goals, how we sustain um, the new things that we've decided to get onto, the new projects. That is the important thing for the new year. So we want to unpack this topic today as part of the considerations into the new year. It's important to look at ourselves, self self-discovery. You see, why this is so important and why it could be a quick win and a big win for that matter for us is that we may not be able to have control or influence other things around our lives, but I can influence myself. I can advise myself. I can beat myself up to the point where at least gets me on the right direction. I may not be able to beat my neighbor. I may not even be able to beat my child up these days to get in the right direction. No. So every other thing, it's outside my sphere of control. But at least myself. And that is why I believe in self-talk. That's why I believe in self-worth. That is why I believe in self-caution. To an extent, I also believe in self-beating. I would rather beat myself to get in the right direction, not forever. I rather discipline myself, but I may not be able to discipline others. I know even up to the sake, like I said, children. You would think that children are brought under our care to also put in the right direction, to influence, to sometimes discipline in the right direction. I know that is becoming more difficult these days, especially in the Western world, with all the laws about how far can you discipline, how far can you try to put children in the right direction. So even children these days, I wanted to say for crying out loud, even children these days, you have limited control, but not for yourself. And that is why this topic is so win, win, win. I have the best influence for myself. So I'll rather work on that. So before even getting into the topic, that's just one quick thought that I didn't plan for. But self-discovery, it is so important. It's so important. I know that one person or two staying on, please, I really get excited to know that you're there. I also get excited if you get involved because the topic we're on here, there is nobody that has self-knowledge, exclusive knowledge about it. Let's share thought, let's share. Other people can watch this later and also learn from you. So I would like to hear from you, please. So even if you see this later, we always appreciate feedback. FamilyWorth is meant to grow from strength to strength, and we do that by learning and making changes. So we'd love to hear from you, even when you watch this later. Give us some feedback, leave some comments. Even when we are doing well, let us know. Sometimes everyone sort of cherish a pat in the back when something is being done right. And of course, when some things can be done in a better way, I'm all ears. Please let us know. And if you want to be involved, FamilyWorth is open, because there's no exclusive right to knowledge. Again, you can check out our media pages. Let's connect. Let's connect. It's all about, we're all in this together. Family, it's everyone. There is no one without family, one way or the other. So we are all in this together. Please, we'd like to get more people involved. Start with that subscription, and then if you want to be more involved, you like what you're seeing or hearing, you feel you have a message, you have something you can share with our audience, I'm all ears, I'm all open. Please let us know. We also like to tell people every now and then, if anything we talk about sort of triggers some things, especially the emotional aspect, and you need to talk to someone confidentially, and of course, the ones that the regulatory bodies recognize. Here are some of them. Like in Australia, There are many others in other parts of the world. If you are watching this in other parts of the world, check out your own country. But for us, Lifeline Australia, 24/7, non-judgmental counsel. They talk to you, they check, make sure you get support before it gets too bad. Beyond Blue, anything that has to do with depression, things like that, mental illness. Hey, those things these days, for me, it's no longer one taboo. I got to know, and that's just practical. Everyone, to an extent, has something that is not right. We're not perfect. Only God is perfect. But just that there are different degrees. For some people, they need urgent medical attention. So please, if you fall in that group, call someone, reach out. Don't keep it to yourself. And of course, for domestic violence, which has become a big issue, call out for help. We want to see less of that, and that is what Family World is all about as well. Hopefully, we can contribute to reducing this scourge. It's just too much these days. Unfortunately, some of them end up in fatalities. So please reach out before it gets too bad. And then for kids, youth, kids, of course, Headspace is also one of them in Australia. Reach out when you need to. I just see that there's someone yeah, again, I really want to appreciate. Hey, Chooks, good, good to see you, man. This is my old time friend. Wow. Great to see you here, Baba Chooks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. But please, I know you've always been a man of wisdom. Feel free to chip in a bit. I always respect your wisdom right from the uni days. So, Babachu, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here with me today. So, uh, t- Today is really, just going back to the topic again, just to quickly, I want to try and keep this short because we don't want to be here for long. Like I said, leave some thoughts. Let's go and reflect about it. It's not exclusive knowledge here. And then if you got any other comments, you can just DM me, direct message me later, and then we can take it further. But for the sake of the audience, we'll try and make it very sharp and quick. So the topic is about self-discovery, and I like coming through questions because sometimes when you open it up as questions, it makes us to reflect and think. Are there differences between self-worth or worthiness and self-centeredness? Because sometimes, I don't know for you guys, please feel free to, for those that are on the screen, on the platform with me, put in your own thoughts. Sometimes there could be a thin line between getting from really loving yourself, valuing yourself, and becoming self centered. The second part is not what we really want to promote here. It's the first part, self worthiness, that I really want to unpack, of course, with your involvement, the audience. So there are differences, and I don't want to get into lecturing, but just leaving it as a thought to reflect on. Try not to go from self worthiness to self centeredness. Try not to do that. The line could be thin, but let's try not to get to the other side. Similar case with these other two. Self care. There's nothing wrong with caring for myself. There's nothing wrong sometimes just getting out of the matrix, getting out of the crowd, all the noise. And sometimes it could even be within families. There's nothing wrong as a father or a mother or a child. Sometimes just taking themselves out, especially when you have rooms, go to your room and just take time out, care for self, distress. So again, there's a lot of difference between self-care and selfishness. Selfishness is really, I know it's thin line. It almost sounds like, yes, you're also caring for yourself. I need to take care of myself. But, it could become bad when your whole world is all about you. You don't care for the next person. Someone could be dying next to you. You don't even care. Someone is sick. Even within families, I see these days, unfortunately, even among siblings. Yes, we know that there are those narratives about sibling wars, but for God's sake, when your brother or sister doesn't feel good, and it's not just physical sickness, when they don't feel good, they've not had a good day, maybe they've been bullied in school, maybe they've had a bad run with marks, they didn't do well in the exam. We have these days where even within the home, the person is even tortured more. Unfortunately, that shouldn't be. So let's learn to care for each other. But above all, remember what I said earlier on. Even when no one will do it for you, care for yourself. I remember that man called David in the Bible. We were told that he encouraged himself in the Lord. He encouraged himself. In the world that we are in these days, if you don't know how to encourage yourself, I'm sorry to say, sometimes you could be kept stranded because someone you may depend on that will encourage you may not be there. I'll give you an example. There's no relationship as close as husband and wife, marriage. But even as couples, sometimes, I'm sorry to say, you may not even be able to depend because we are humans. We are made of flesh. So we need to learn to care for self. This is where it is not selfish. I need to look after myself. After all, I still use this illustration. Many of us see it every now and then when we fly. Remember the announcement by the air crew that when for any reason, and it happens, that a flight has a kind of turbulence or goes into some kind of area where oxygen becomes scarce, you are told to put a mask first over your own nose. Even if you have a child there, it's good that they use that example because there is nothing as difficult for a parent. Especially, of course, women too, but men, we want to fix that child. We want to fix that marriage. We want to fix that person or a boss at work. I want to fix this guy to be my best employee. But hey, we have limits. So take care of yourself first. After all, you cannot give what you don't have. So care for self. It is important. So yes, there are differences between self-care and selfishness, just being full of yourself. That's different. I want to just throw in another question here, talking about self-care, talking about self-discovery. Self-discovery, just like the English say, is to discover yourself. Is to know yourself. I need to know me more than I know me now, so that I can value me. If I don't know me, how can I value me? If I don't know what makes Ephraim, how can I develop Ephraim? How can I value Ephraim? How can I love Ephraim if I don't know who he is? I know this sounds psychological, but hey, just bear with me, because the place we are going to is deep. And the precious things of life, you know by now if you're an adult, they come from the deep. I used to work in the oil and gas industry. I still do some jobs there. Oil comes from the deep. Gold, precious metals, name them. They hardly operate at the surface. They hardly operate at the superficial. That is why I must encourage us, including myself. Let's get beyond the superficial. Yes, it's good to like someone that is beautiful, especially when it comes to seriousness like marriage for life. It's good to love. Of course, it will be a drag to be with someone you don't get excited about when you look at them. But you and I know that time will come that that superficial can no longer hold. That's why you need to go deep. So, who do people say you are? Hey, I know this is some of us that are Bible students will remember this questioning that came from the master himself when he was asking his disciples, "Who do people say I am?" So he too was quite conscious about self-discovery, though in another level. Of course, we can't compare with him. So who do people say you are? Who do people say I am? Especially behind me and even in front of me. Let's take it to the next level, because let's come from the outside to the inside. Who do friends say I am? I have some very good friends. Friends that I've known for more than 10 years. Friends that even if we don't see every day, every month, even sometimes a year, you'll be wondering why can you say you have your friend you don't see in a year? Of course, that is one of the cost of migration of being in diaspora. So, but I still hold them in high esteem. They are my friends. Recently, I called one of them when I was going through stuff. I didn't talk to someone in Australia where I live. I took up the phone. I called this fellow because he's a friend. So I wonder what that fellow would say about me if he's asked, "Who is Ephraim?" That is the real you. Again, even that has limit because really friends should know you to a greater extent than colleagues at work, than someone you meet on the street. Friends would know you to a greater extent. But let's take it further. The next one is scary, and I know I'll ruffle a few feathers, including mine. Who do my family members overlook the grammar there? Who do family say that I am? Of course, family, there are also various levels of families. Family I grew up in, extended family, my siblings, my parents, and of course, my immediate family, my partner and children. Who who would they say I am? And it's quite scary. I wonder what they would say. And I don't know for you, maybe for some people, for some men, they are doing so well. And I give you big commendation for that. If you have a family, a son, for example, a daughter, that is a big fan. When they ask him or ask her, say something about daddy. Oh, you hear beautiful stuff. How priceless that is. And if you got that right, well done. I give you thumbs up. But we know that some people don't have it that easy. And I'm one now not to judge anybody quickly, because hey, there are different stories out there. Sometimes what people know is not what it is. It's not all as it seems. So please don't judge that father or mother whose child may not say something beautiful as they will say about yours. But it's also very important. It's a challenge because it is important for my family to see me for who I am, not who they want me to be. Actually, this is where it becomes another level, another level. As important as family is, to have a good a good story about you, but it shouldn't end there. Really, it shouldn't. This is why self-discovery is so vital, because there are people that have got wounded, there are people that have now got into hopelessness and despair because their families just do not think well about them. While I sort of empathize with such people, and I'm not saying that I'm exonerated from that myself. So while I empathize with us, hey, there is hope. There is a deeper narrative. And I'm not saying that family's perspective is not critical. It is critical, and I want to get there myself critically and really stay there where my children are my biggest fans. My partner, oh my, if I don't get home, she will not sleep. I want to have it that way. Or if the minute I spend 5 minutes extra where I've gone to, I'm receiving calls. Hey, honey, where are you? I want to have it like that. Really, it's good. It should be like that. But hey, it's not always like that. And it's not a hopeless situation if it's not like that. It doesn't mean that you are terrible. Yes, you need to make changes where you need to. We need to keep striving. And this is where self discovery is so critical because the next level is the most important. Who do I say I am? Who do I say? Again, I'm not even saying who you are because there's another level. But at least this level is so critical. What is my self talk to myself? And this is why I now appreciate so much more these days when that place, again, I know that not everybody here will be Bible readers. Again, this is not meant to preach at us, but FamilyWorth is rooted and founded and driven around that parameters when it does. But we recognize that there are other worldviews. But I now appreciate these narratives so much. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yourself. This is why people cannot give what they don't have. I can't love my neighbor if I don't love myself. Again, I'm not saying that you become so full of yourself. We withdrew those differences earlier on. But it is so important to value yourself. But how can you value yourself if you don't know yourself? How can you value yourself if you don't know what makes you you? What makes me me? So, like I said, yes, this level is very important. But for us, again, this is where it goes deeper, and this is where it goes into faith and our value system. And I know that many people that will watch this may have other values, other worldviews, but I know that there are some lines that also run across some of these worldviews. And we also know that there's life beyond just self. And this is what makes it that you will not go from self-worth to self-conceit or even to selfishness. Or like we said earlier on, this is what will not make you go from to self-centeredness, when you also know that there's another level beyond who do I say that I am. I also know this. I know for myself. I can't say for you because I don't want to drum it into your throat that you must believe in God. That becomes a personal journey. But at the same time, here in FamilyWorth, we are not apologetic that yes, everything we do ultimately, the reference point why we why we try not to be exclusive, but we also know that when we come to family issues and this kind of discussion today, we cannot depend on psychology, even though they have good stuff. We cannot depend on it alone. It's great. I am all for it. I'm all for research. I'm all for science. I'm all for social science. But I also know that there is a life beyond just the superficial, what we see. So who do I say that I am? Self-discovery. Beyond that, who do God say I am? Someone made me. I'm not just, again, I don't want to get into evolution and all those, but the view we believe in the confines of the biblical worldview that there is a God and there is something beyond this flesh. This is flesh. And that is why when Ephraim goes to sleep, I don't know when, and I mean death, because we all will have to go that direction. That's why when you see a corpse, when you see a dead person, or when you see a dead thing, because it's no longer the person, it's a carcass. There's something that have left the thing. There's something that was there before that's no longer there. However, different worldviews explain that. That is up to individuals. But for us, for me, and in FamilyWorth, we believe in the body, soul, and spirit. And it's so encouraging these days. Recently, I was listening to a podcast from Harvard Business School, Harvard. And the topic was exploring spirit, soul, and body for executives. So the narratives of the spirituality now is no longer a scary thing. It's now getting into the corporate and business world. Executives now know that in order to be a complete, wholesome person that is taking care of those billions, they know that they need to depend on a higher source, on something. And of course, different ones with different stuff. So we believe this is so critical. And when we talk about self-discovery, and yeah, like I said, I don't want to drag this for too long. So I just want to leave it here today because I also recognize that particularly Someone has been on the platform with me, though we have a few people right now. I really would like to just hear from you. I keep saying, this is not exclusive. Um, I don't boast to know it all, but the whole topic of self-discovery is so critical, so critical. I mean, I've not even gone into the whole issue of identity crisis that we have in our hands today, especially among our younger generation. Because when you don't know who you are, either you yourself will fill it with other things, or other people, or the environment, or the community will fill it for you. And when people begin to just come to a point where they sort of they're asking the questions, who am I? What am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing? Where did I come from? Why do I belong to this family? Where am I going to? You start realizing that this is a serious matter and we cannot run away from it. Just have a few friends with me today. Wow. Unoko, wow, good to see you and hear you and read you. And of course, always a man of wisdom. Oh, so good to see this guy. Wilfred, thank you for joining me. Man is spirit, living a body, cause of the location, earth. Oh yes, exactly what. Again, this fellow is a man of wisdom, right? Right from I'm not even early uni days, University of Port Harcourt. Wow, good to see you, man. It's so good to see friends here today. Earlier on, I had Chukuma, Babachuks, and now I'm having Wilfred Unoko, who is a pastor in Germany and also a scientist, biochemist. A biochemist. We studied biochemistry together. Oh, good to see you, mate. Um, oh yes, bless you, my brother. Thank you so much. It's so encouraging to have people here. And these guys, to be fair, and to be open, full disclosure, these guys know better than me. So how beautiful to have contributions from the like of Unoko here. And it's just true. I just stated it just now. I can get a clip of that Harvard Business School. It was even a Zoom meeting, and they posted it on LinkedIn. And their topic for the day was exploring the spiritual, physical, and soulish part of man. I'm talking about Harvard Business School. So, hey, it's high time we stop deceiving ourselves and feeling so ashamed to really say who we are, say what makes us strong. Because hey, when the chips are down, this self-discovery will make you strong, will keep you. And that's why, just going back to when I was going from the outer level, going to the lower level, and I said, who do people say you are? Who do friends? Because friends, like I just said about Wilfred, now he knows me. And I know that if they ask him, who is Ephraim? I know I'll believe whatever. I'll believe what he says. Maybe not whatever, but I'll believe. Because we've come a long way. And we build integrity with each other. We build love with each other. He can tell me, Ephraim, I think your mouth smells. He'll say it respectfully. And I will go back and really check my mouth because I trust him. So friendship built over time to the point of trust. I did say I wasn't going to spend an hour doing this today because it's meant to leave thoughts and then we'll go reflect about them. You can see now we didn't finish self-discovery again because there's just so much. And I don't want to, this kind of topic, you don't want to rush it for rushing sake. And it's so great now that I'm having people come alongside me to contribute because these guys, I can tell you, when they say it, just know that they are talking from wisdom. I fellowship with them over time. So really taking it from the outside, who the friends say you are, the whole family. I did say that this could be scary because we know these days sometimes um, families may not hold the best perception about you, unfortunately, and that pains sometimes because the place you so much want to be celebrated is family. And I'm not saying it sitting here as if I'm sitting on my high horse and thinking I get it right. It's something I also need to work on. Celebrate my children, celebrate my partner, celebrate my extended family, my siblings, wherever they are. Celebrate them. Call them and tell them how wonderful, how blessed you are to have them as relative. Celebrate them. Tell them, of course, where they are not doing well, room for improvement. Tell them that's what families are for. But just like we do and we promote, before you recommend, commend many times. It's something I'm also learning. Commend one, two, three, four, five, and then chip in a recommendation. And then end with a commendation. I've learned this also from Toastmasters, which I've used a lot. And that's feedback for you. So family's view of us so critical, but unfortunately, sometimes you may not get the best there. And that's just the world we are in right now. And this is where it's very important to have the best view of yourself. Not a lie, but the best view of yourself. And how beautiful it is if that will align with what God says about you. How beautiful. I want to get it right. I want to get that alignment. And if you get it right from here and you start going out, if God says you are wonderfully and beautifully made, and then your self-talk is, I'm a useless person. Hey, no, 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 no. So start going from this, this high level, this concrete level. If God says it, then you can take it beyond the bank. It is sure. It may not look like, but it is. And then you start taking it to self. Yes, I am. Irrespective of what is happening in my world right now, and I'm doing this currently because, hey, a lot is happening in the world. People are going through stuff. So how timely to have this narrative of having the best view of myself for myself. I love me. I love me. I love you, Ephraim. Of course, it's not stupid. It's not stupidity. It may seem stupid, but it's not. That's why people stand in front of mirrors and speak to themselves. Speak to it. It works. They practice it in psychology. It works. Self-talk. But we know that beyond self-talk, this is also important. And this is where, time will fail me. We brought this briefly last time. The story of Jacob. He did something wrong at his younger age. He colluded with the mom and they defrauded his brother Esau. And he started running. He ran to different places. He went into the world. He became wealthy. He had success. But something was not right. He knew it. That's why everybody can deceive you, but you will know when something is not right with self. We could cover it with many things. We men, we do it a lot. We could cover it with those toys. We know how what we do with toys. What we do in secret as men. Hopefully, we're doing less and less and being more transparent. But we could cover it with all those stuff. Like Jacob, he didn't go away. He had wives, of course, those days. He had children, beautiful children. He had wealth. But something was not right. He needed that corrected. And until that was corrected, he now had a good assessment of himself. And that freedom, true freedom, came after that. So you start going out. When you have good narrative about yourself, what family says, very important, but hey, what you say about yourself is more important. And I'm saying that here because I know how liberating, how important that could be for many people. Can we hear some things happening in the domestic violence space? It's just so heartbreaking. And that could also be tied to this. I say, man, I want to love myself enough that if it's not working, I'm not saying that we should be quick to end relationships, but if it's not working, the least I should do is walk away, at least for the meantime, rather than take matters into your hands. Of course, have chat, communicate, but not domestic violence. Because as men, sometimes how we are celebrated in the home, it's so big for us. Sometimes also our undoing. Because when that does not happen, it's like the world has fallen on us. It's like the carpet, the rug has been swept under our feet, away from our feet. And men end up bad under that condition. So I'm really going to town with this. What your family feels and how they feel about you. It's so important. This does not in any way, I'm not promoting that we shouldn't be responsible as men, as fathers, as parents, even women too. I'm not saying that. Yeah, where there needs to be change, let's make changes. But hey, this is more important. This is more important. I need to value myself for who I am first. I didn't want to go this long because, hey, there's just so much to unpack. But yeah, hopefully it's gone well. There's still quite a lot. I was going to ask a question: does self-discovery or self-worth, does it change over time due to different things in life? And of course, I was going to also look at 3 examples of people. Just a lot. And then, of course, all these things, we have to look at the importance, the implications, and the applications, especially in the family context, because this is FamilyWorth. But hey, we are out of time. I didn't intend to go this far anyway, but sometimes it's so hard to stop. Can I just flag again that if there is something by this podcast or live stream, there's some emotional impact, because sometimes some things can happen, can be said here that could trigger a deeper reflection. And I really pray ultimately for good, but along the way, we may need help. So if you need to talk to someone urgently, these guys, they are trained. This is for Australia. Different countries have their own differently. Please pick up the phone, talk to them. They are there 24/7. At least we don't want to go down the track of being in a bad shape before you open up to someone. So there are different types of them, and there's also one for domestic violence and one for kids as well, in case a child is in danger, which hopefully this topic so far was not targeted at children. But thank you so much for staying with me today. And once again, I just want to thank Chukuma Babachuks. It's so great to see you and for coming here to support me. And of course, my good friend, the pastor of Christ Love Church. Check him out. I do listen to him every now and then. But he's my very good friend, Wilfred Unoko. He lives out there in Germany. Thank you for being with me today. I think while we're rounding up, there's someone on the platform. In case you've not said something, please can you just say hello, because you've really stayed there all through for me. I'll bring this to a close now. In case you want to just say hello, that would be great. This is all about family worth today. Our big thing is that family is worth it. The trend these days is almost a question people are asking, especially among young fellows: is it still worth it to talk family, to talk marriage, to hold on to the ancient landmarks? Is it still worth it? And it's quite a difficult conversation sometimes to try and convince them, especially the younger ones, that it's still worth it, because most of the time what they've seen about marriage, especially in the Western world, sometimes paints a very bad picture before them, that the institution of marriage seems to be fading off, unfortunately. So FamilyWorth believes, irrespective of what is happening, family is worth it. Marriage, as instituted by God, is worth it. It's still the family, is still the bedrock of the community. So we believe in this. And of course, everything we do is all around love, hope, and faith. Thank you once again. When you watch this, when you see this, please let us know that you've seen it. We always want people to connect with us, leave feedback. Please connect with us. Very important. FamilyWorth is not exclusive. Let us know. It's open. If you have ideas, you also want to contribute. I like having guests. Yes, we don't have millions of followers yet, but it's growing. So we want to promote this, promote the narrative that family indeed is worth it. So thank you for staying with me. I can still see that one person stayed with me all the way. I really appreciate your time. I would have loved you to say hello, but thank you for staying with me today. I'll bring it to a close now. Thank you, everyone. And please stay with me with self-discovery. The idea is to go from self-discovery to self-worth and self-value. And then we're going to self-actualization, being all that you can be, that God has made you to be. That's where we are headed. So let's take it coolly. Let's take it slowly. Let's take it steadily. We don't want to rush it. Thank you once again for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.